Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Planet Reddit. What's an invention that's still around today but has lost sight of its original purpose? Paintball guns. They were originally called paintball markers and were invented as a way for loggers and park rangers to mark trees for trimming, cutting down, etc. without having to walk up to each tree with spray paint or something. A couple of dudes who were using them started shooting at each other for fun, and paintball as a sport was born. In fact, some people still call them markers to avoid the stigma some associate with the word gun. A couple of dudes who were using them started shooting at each other for fun. That would be literally everyone who was using them started shooting them at each other for fun, I'm sure. TBF. Every time I've gone paintball by, I've heard them called markers still. But I didn't know the history. The best man at a wedding was the best swordsman the groom could afford. If anyone objected to the wedding, the best man would duel him. The honeymoon lasted a whole month after the wedding, where the bride's father would supply the groom with all the mead he could drink. All the mead he could drink. This marriage thing sounds like something I could try. He also defended the bride after the wedding. The wedding didn't really count until the marriage was consummated. So he defended her in the event someone tried to steal her away. Edit. Believe it or not, I learned this from Linus Tech Tips. The WAN show. Luke explained he was asked to do this. Also, because someone pointed out context matters, he defended her from someone who wanted to steal her from the groom and consummate the marriage before the groom had a chance to. Amazon used to sell only books. Today I learned this about their history. In September 1994, Bezos purchased the domain name relentless.com and briefly considered naming his online store Relentless. But friends told him the name sounded a bit sinister. The domain is still owned by Bezos and still redirects to the retailer. Play-Doh was supposed to be a wallpaper cleaner originally. Now it serves as a delicious appetizer. Wait, what? Electric pen by Edison are now tattoo machines. Not sure if this is correct, but the tattoo artist who did one of my tattoos told me the gun machine has not changed since invented. It's exactly the same since Edison invented it. Edit. So it's not a gun. It's a tattoo machine. My apologies to the artists out there. No foul intended. It's true. Source. I heard that once too. History Channel. Discovery Channel. National Geographic Channel. National Geographic still has interesting stuff, just not nature stuff. History Channel is conspiracy theories, and Discovery Channel alternated from how it's made to car, gold or lobster shows. Nalgene bottles. The plastic water bottles that are popular with hikers, campers, other outdoor activity folks were originally created for use as medical scientific lab equipment as a lighter, shatterproof alternative to glass. They're still really good for that. In fact, my company gets many free samples of Nalgene beakers and bottles from salespeople every year, which I take home and use as dining ware and sports bottles. Yep. I still use them in my lab. Slinky was originally meant to be used as springs and side-sensitive boat devices. Mechanical engineer Richard James invented the Slinky by accident. In 1943, he was working to devise springs that could keep sensitive ship equipment steady at sea. After accidentally knocking some samples off a shelf, he watched in amazement as they gracefully walked down instead of falling. Along with his wife Betty, James developed a plan to turn his invention into the next big novelty toy. Source. National Toy Hall of Fame. Kleenex. Its original purpose was to act as insulation in gas masks during World War I. After the war, its parent company advertised it as a way to remove makeup. Edit. Added context for when this happened. Edit. Fixed my grammar. You savages. From Wikipedia. Aspartame. Aspartame was discovered in 1965 by James M. Schlatter, a chemist working for G.D. Searle and Company. Schlatter had synthesized aspartame as an intermediate step in generating a tetrapeptide of the hormone gastrin. For use in assessing an anti-ulcer drug candidate, 53, he discovered its sweet taste when he licked his finger, which had become contaminated with aspartame. To lift up a piece of paper, 7, 54, 55. Torranateriscarin participated in the development of aspartame as an artificial sweetener. 56. This mad lad is licking his fingers in a chemistry lab. SMH. In chemistry lab in college we had to figure out what an unknown chemical substance was by doing a bunch of tests and comparing the results to 6 known substances. Do the same tests on all 7 and compare results. I just tasted a little bit of the unknown and then tasted the 6 controls and was like, easy, it's the unknown as that one. The TA just shook his head and looked at me like I'm an idiot. I got it right though. The dashboard. Originally it was a little board of wood used to protect people from mud and debris from when their horse-drawn whatever would travel at gallop speeds. Now it gives me information about my vehicle's current state and provides audio entertainment. There are several drugs that would make the list. Cocaine and Viagra for sure though. Heroin was originally advertised as an addiction-free alternative to opium. Oops. Maybe it's been said already. Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper were originally marketed as medicine and health tonics. I believe Dr. Pepper's original name was something like Dr. Pepper's Health Elixir. Edited for spelling. Second edit. Holy cow. Came back to an amazing conversation. I'm trying to get to everyone's comments. I don't know if I can respond to everyone, but I'll at least leave a like. Irn Brew, a Scottish soft drink popular in the UK, was originally marketed as a health tonic because of the large amount of iron in the drink. In 1949 they had to stop calling it Irn Brew because of restrictions from the government on what could be marketed as having vitamins or minerals. And it became the legally distinct Irn Brew. Georgia Meister used to be a cough-cold medicine to help keep mountain climbers in the Alps warm. To be fair, it still can keep you warm and it still tastes like cough-cold medicine. Georgia is a big one here. It is actually a Kreuzerlicher, a kind of bitter alcoholic drink used to aid digestion in small quantities, and used to be seen as a drink for old people until a huge remarketing campaign. Now it's what college students get wasted off of. Miscellaneous has been the bane of many old women's liver. What do you mean? Granny died cirrhosis. She never drank alcohol. And she always drank a glass of Miscellaneous for her health. Yeah. Hate to break it to you, but Miscellaneous has about 79% alcohol. She might not have realized it, but she was an alcoholic. Super glue. I think it was originally an instant suture in med kits for soldiers in Vietnam. Edit. Holy cow y'all. Thanks for the silver, my first ever. The comments. And the further explanation of what superglue was supposed to be. I based my guess on the hard hat guy swinging from the I-beam commercial. Cyanoacrylate, active ingredient in superglue, is still used as medical glue. You can buy the medical grade stuff on Amazon. Edit. Since this is getting so much attention, I feel obligated to post a SAR reminding everyone to thoroughly clean and disinfect your wounds before gluing them shut. Edit 2. Thanks for the gold. Any reason I shouldn't just use the regular stuff? I've been using it for years. Bubble wrap. It was made to be a texture wallpaper. Wait. Really? Yep. Menstrual pads. They were invented to soak up blood in bullet wounds. After the war, Tonics had several hundred tons left over and found that nurses had been using them as feminine hygiene. What did women use before pads were invented? Serious. It varied by time and place, but mostly rags. We get the expression being on the rag because, well, women in the 19th century used to do a lot of sewing, and leftover rags or old clothes would get used for cleaning, and the softer ones would be used to soak up menstruation. Around the end of the century, companies started selling cloth pads. The Tonics ones I mentioned were revolutionary because they were meant to be disposable rather than washed and reused. We go back further, and we don't really know. Women didn't do a lot of writing. There isn't a lot of writing by women that has survived. And men didn't care to mention it much other than demands for ritual bathing or herbs to keep the smell away. It's likely they did the same, but that's just an educated guess. Microwave transmitters were originally created to transmit radar signals in World War II. When a worker noticed that being near the transmitter melted a candy bar in his pocket, It led to the development of the microwaves that we use in our homes today. MTV, aka Music Television, and TLC, or the Learning Channel. Not a lot of learning happening on that channel these days. Unless you enjoy learning about the daily lives of morbidly obese people and idiots marrying morons from different countries in a matter of weeks. Don't forget TLC also has plenty of shows about families with way too many children as well as little people. Benadryl was developed as a sleep aid, but its antihistamine properties were better. Also, and maybe this has been said, but the pound sign started as shorthand for pound weight, then commonly used in the 80s for voicemail access. Now it's used to light fires on social media. Hitachi Magic Wand. It was originally intended as a massager. Hitachi still explicitly sells it as a massager and nothing else. It also gets upset at people claiming it's a sex toy, which is also why they have ceased putting their brand name on it. Hitachi ceased production of the device in 2013 because of concerns about having the company name attached to a sex toy. Vibratex persuaded the company to continue manufacturing it under the name Original Magic Wand, omitting the Hitachi name. In 2014, the company used the name Magic Wand Original. End Wikipedia org link. I love how even the Wikipedia article is like, nope, it's a Hitachi Magic Wand. Edit. Guys, I'm not unaware as to why the wiki page specifies the Hitachi brand. I just think it's funny that they want so badly to distance their brand from the sex market and just can't do it. Then again, if they didn't want to be associated with some of the best sex toys in existence, they shouldn't have advertised a sex toy with an intensity that, and this is not a joke, is measured in horsepower. Edit. Clarity. Viagra. It was invented as a blood pressure medicine. It's still used to treat a form of high blood pressure called pulmonary hypertension in both men and women. It's sold under another name, Revatio, for marketing purposes. Both Viagra and Revatio are the same drug, sildenafil. My dog has pulmonary hypertension and takes sildenafil 3 times a day. The microplane was initially developed as a wood rasp, but now it's used pretty much exclusively for zesting lemons and grating Parmesan cheese. High-heeled shoes. They were originally for men and used for horse riding, as the heels were supposed to keep the feet more secure in the stirrups. Now, they're just fancy women's shoes. Also used by butchers so they didn't stand in blood. Now I'm imagining my butcher in a fancy stiletto. Not really an invention but IQ test. They were never meant to figure out how smart you were. They were for identifying students who may need additional help. WD-40 Aqua Water Displacement, the 40th attempt. WD-40 was invented to keep the outer skin of missiles from rust and corrosion. Missile skin. Cotton buds. Not meant for ears but for cleaning bacteria and removing dust. Cleaning bacteria, hold still. Little streptococcus. I need to scrub you with this cotton swab. Edit. My first silver. Thank you. Edit number 2. Holy cats. Gold. I would like to thank all the little streptococci for the inspiration. Amyl nitrite. Poppers. Originally a cleaning chemical. Now a less than healthy way of making butt sex easier. Lysol. It was invented in the 1920s as a vaginal douche. It was marketed to married women to cure the marital grief caused by a stinky hoo-ha. This article from Smithsonian Magazine, smithsonianmag.com link, has great ads showing poor, beautiful, glamorous ladies whose husbands have totally lost interest in sex with them until they put Lysol up their vaginas. Eek. It was marketed to married women to cure the marital grief caused by a stinky hoo-ha. To be a little clearer, it was marketed that way, but it was coded language for post-coital douching of seminal fluid. It was birth control. Edit. Oh wow. This offhand comment apparently blew up. Hardly my area of expertise. But anyone interested in reading more I would point to. Search. Amy. 1997. Those dirty ads. Birth control advertising in the 1920s and 1930s. Critical Studies in Mass Communication 14. No. 1. 31. Children equals marital grief. I'm sure most parents would say at times this is true. For every pipe cleaner that actually cleans a pipe, 500,000 get twisted into children's art projects. A friend's cat loved playing with pipe cleaners, so she gave me a bunch for my cats. The cats ended up not playing with them, but they wreaked havoc with my rumba. Hopefully I found them all before Mr. R does. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.